Mhm. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're not doing nothing but teasing Maya behind the scenes. That's all.
That's all. We're just messing with her. We love her.
Yeah. Yeah,
We'll we'll fight over her, but we'll mess with her ourselves though.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
she's supposed to be making us our sweet potato pie soon.
Yeah. I'm waiting.
Remember, she
I'm
won
wa-
it last year, so we're
I'm
waiting.
waiting. She won the contest last year, didn't she?
Yeah, she won the contest last year. Yep.
Okay. I'm waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Promises, promises. Some kind of promise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Got to keep reminding her. You know how they are.
We shouldn't have to remind her if she meant it. Trying to say something. What's up, Terrence?
Hey, Terrence, how you doing?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Are we going to have a toxic people panel or something? This thing's blowing up, man.
Well, yeah. I think now that we're doing
The characters?
the characters, yeah, we can do a Thursday panel, and then also with the chats, the discussions on Sundays and stuff.
People are really interested in that thing, man.
I know.
Do you think they felt Jezebel is toxic and toxicity is possibly spiritual?
Well, I mean, well, you know, some saints have the tendency to demonize everything, so I'm glad you
Yeah.
deciphered that.
I had to.
Line between the two.
I had to.
Yeah, because they be demon and
Yeah.
demon.
And talking to the wrong entity.
Right. And it's always amazed me how toxicity works. A lot of times, God just lets the person almost die by their own behavior.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, literally.
They usually end up in a pig pen by themselves.
Yep. Or Jezebel, you know.
Yeah, get thrown off the wall.
Yeah, and all that. Yeah.
Lois Albright is on. My goodness,
Sister Albright. What's up?
One of my bucket list things to do is to see Lois get saved.
Yeah, it's been a long time, Bishop. I know you trying. It's just
I am. I'm starting to lose confidence in my prayer life.
Yeah, right. Every time you think you got it, she just goes.
What's up, Scott Shelton?
Hey, Scott.
Alvin Hayes, how you doing?
Yeah. Hi, Maribel. Bishop Maribel Roman is one of our new members.
Hello, Maribel. Welcome.
Yeah.
She's been following us a while though.
Yeah, just came on and joined. Yep.
She took her time, made up her mind.
Yeah.
What's up, Donald?
We got a question. We got a question already. I actually got a question from her already.
Hello, Todd.
What's up, Todd? I have a question. Am I able to let go of toxic people? But I have a son that I can't let go of. I pray, will continue to pray for him, but I'm being dragged verbally, emotionally, economically at times. How do I, as his mother, help him let go of that God?
Well, one of the points I think either in this message or the one before was that toxic people demand you set up boundaries and don't compromise those boundaries. So rather than lead them into a place of change, they have to be abruptly, their access to you in ways that are counterproductive to you has to be stopped. So you set up boundaries, you explain the boundary, and they need to understand if they cross the boundary, they're in a place where you're not going to respond the way they want you to. And I think a lot of times as you raise children, you can't raise them without boundaries. I don't think you can do it that way.
Yeah.
I know some people you can parent and kind of let them grow and don't set any restrictions on them. But I'm not sure that prepares them for the world, because the world's going to put some restrictions on them.
Yep.
You know, so I would say, Maribel, you set the boundaries and stick to those boundaries. And when he asks you why, even if he says, well, you always did that, well, your explanation is, number one, all you need to say is, well, it's not going to be like that anymore.
Yep.
You know, I tried to talk to you, you didn't listen. Here's the change.
You haven't done so. Oh, sorry.
She's been following us since May. Todd Harris from Chicago. Hey.
Yeah. Since May. Antoine told me she just joined like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Listen to him. Sorry, Maribel.
Dana Green, how you doing?
Hey, if you haven't done so, please share.
Valentina, how you doing? I ain't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
Tricia. West Philly. I lived in West Philly for a while. Brenda and Judith. Cheryl. Hi. There goes Stephanie Maxwell.
Yeah. If you haven't done so already, can you please share if you can? We kind of just jump right into it.
Yeah.
If you can, please share. And so let me see. Oh, this is a quick one today.
Okay. It is?
Yeah.
You mean the message is quick?
Yeah, we're still at 6:16. So
It was only 15 minutes?
yeah.
It felt like I was teaching for half an hour.
Yeah, it's only 16 minutes. So well, it gives us more time to talk. And at
Why
the
did
end.
it feel so long?
Did you tape it this past week? You taped it last
Friday, right?
No, Tuesday.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah.
That was the Jezebel one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. The 10 times better. That was
What am I thinking about?
you think about
all right,
yeah.
10 times better. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It was only 16 minutes.
Yeah.
I hope it was good.
Yeah.
What's Scott talking about?
That's about to put up. It still hit me hard with my pop's passing. My question to you is, when you die, does your soul go straight to heaven, or does your soul go to heaven when God comes back at the rapture?
Well, first, I'll answer the first part. Pastor Nick, you answer the second part.
Okay.
Your father's passing, and of course, I know Scott since he was a little boy. I've known his father for 30, maybe 40 years at this point.
Mm.
Scott, it's supposed to hit you hard. It's the denial and trying to avoid the impact that makes the living even more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody has told you you should be getting over it by now, number one, you don't get over your father, you get through it.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, it is supposed to hit you hard. So you will absolutely do what I call pancake. You'll be all right at 8 o'clock, not so good at 9, all right at 10, not so good at 11. So the shifting emotions are a normal part of God's gift to you, which is your grief process. The other thing is that we have to learn how to function with grief going on. And grief allows us to work, handle our responsibilities, all those things. And the way what I'm telling you will cause you to mourn like it's a strength rather than it's a weakness. So if you can follow those short things and listen to me very clearly, do not try to conquer the next month, conquer the next moment. And as you start racking up conquered moments, you'll find your life will start to get centered in its new normal. You've got a new normal now. You don't know what it's like to live without your father. So the new normal is here. So it's now time for you to start conquering moments. They'll add up to hours, add up to days, add up to weeks, add up to months.
Yeah.
And you'll start functioning in the new normal that you're living right now. But don't let anybody tell you that you should be over your father. He's not someone to get over.
Yep. Absolutely.
And he had a wonderful father.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had a wonderful father.
Yeah. Yeah. And Scott, listen to the grief discussion we did this past Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and listen to it. Maya, maybe we can post that again this week sometime. One of these days, we can re-air it again.
Yeah. And Scott, get the series that I did called My Heart Will Beat Again.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you put that the link in the comments for that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maya put the link for that.
Your heart will beat again. Was it my or yours?
Your heart.
Your heart will beat again.
Yeah. And it's on YouTube. Maya's gonna put the link in the comments for you to click on it. So yeah, when a person that is saved dies, they go to heaven as the holding place until the end, when God completes all things and creates a brand new heaven and a brand new earth.
Soul goes.
Yeah, the soul goes, yes. Okay. And then the soul goes to the body stays here. The soul goes to heaven as a holding place until the end, when God resurrects and restores all things. And that's when our bodies will be reunited with our souls, because God did create Adam as a living being, a human being on the earth. So we are not supposed to be absent of our bodies long term.
That's right. So
in the end, God resurrects the bodies so that we all can be joined together like Adam was originally in the Garden of Eden. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Well, we're getting a lot of grief questions lately.
Well,
it's a lot. How does it feel about the loss of a friend, family member, when you can feel that candle is lit and the memory brightens and you can still carry their legacy, excuse me.
I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah.
How does it feel concerning the loss of a friend, family member, when you can feel that candle is still lit in their memory, brightens, and can you still carry in their legacy? Yes. One of the things that is, if the person was someone in whom you had common gifts, common interests, common passion for an accomplishment, then yes, you can continue that work if that was God's mission for you to do that. So it is possible to continue someone's legacy who was making a significant impact. And if you're a person that knew all about it, was involved real foundationally, knew the ins and outs of it, then you may be a candidate to continue a legacy. If not, and it's something you can just support, then you do that.
Yeah. Cool. Any other questions? Yeah, we really was talking to somebody else about that this week. We really go back and watch the panel. We talked about a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll answer it today. It's not saying we'll answer it,
Sure.
but
You get a more complete discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go. I thought I heard you preach before about tithing. I don't have a problem tithing. Can you repeat what you said this morning about tithing on the gross and not the net?
Oh, let me see if I can remember. Okay, so God says the tithe belongs to him. God always also says that he must be first. Seek ye first the kingdom. So God will not be second. So what happens is a lot of times when we see the scripture, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar, some people think that because their taxes come out, that God is okay with the government being paid first. So what happens is that when we give God a tithe after all of our benefits and all the other stuff has come out, we're actually giving God what's left and not what's first. So the spiritual breakthrough, and what really was a breakthrough in my life, is when I started ignoring my net and started seeing what my gross was and started giving God off the gross every time I received something in my hand. So I began to really treat him like he was first and not give him, which is what we do when it's net, we give him what's left. So you get to decide whether he multiplies the gross, or whether he keeps providing with the net.
Yeah.
Because the net can't be recognized as the firstborn.
Yep.
I hope that helped, Lois. Hope that helped the rest of you too. It's amazing breakthrough, amazing breakthrough.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do a series on it shortly, so you guys will be able to pick up on it.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. Ever since we were teaching it to pastors and ministers and stuff, I'm like, somebody gave me $20 if I'm at church, I drop $2 as soon as I'm here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll leave the building. Just here you go.
No, here it is. I've gotten so focused on it, man.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yep.
Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
How you doing? Look, just in case. But you're right. You keep saying it. We talked about the past couple Wednesdays. God will not be second.
He won't be.
And he keeps showing you if you keep him first, what's going to happen for your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So by the time we get finished all of our deductions, we're giving him something. We're not giving him what he calls his.
Yep, exactly.
So then we put a stolen portion in our bank account.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's viral.
Mm-hmm. So true.
Maribel, I know it's right.
Yeah.
I know it's right.
It works.
It works.
Mm-hmm.
Great, Heather. Good to see you.
Heather Bell, how are you?
Hi, Heather.
Well, I think if you get your money once a month, it
It
still
doesn't
applies,
matter
right?
when,
Yeah,
it
it doesn't
doesn't matter
matter.
when you get it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter when you get it. If you got it twice a month, you still end up doing the same thing if we were being honest.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Any of the questions? Why you guys are getting questions? What, do you remember what this one was about? This is 10 times better.
We were further down on the list. We were talking about, we came out of integrity. We were talking about being focused, talking about an obvious strength, bringing strength into a room when we walk in, those types of things. Hello, Patricia Barkley. Barkley, how are you? Yeah, there's you can't beat being obedient to God. There's nothing that can beat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I never, and we keep slipping back on this conversation. You read your Bible, Pastor Nick.
Yeah.
But I didn't know there were only about 3 words connected to the tithe: mine,
yeah.
first,
yeah,
and thief.
and thief. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
He tries to get the point to us, but we miss it.
Yeah, it's very he's very direct with it.
Yeah.
The prayer said they're heaven holding place. What does that mean? They're sleeping. Well, the Bible called when God talks about people dead, he calls them sleeping.
Right.
So he interchanges the words. You know, the person has passed away, but to them, they're considered sleeping, like Lazarus.
That's God's point of view.
That's God's point of view.
Sleep.
So sleep, yes. So I mean, we can get to the whole theology thing of the new heaven and new earth coming down in the end of Revelation. So that's why I said heaven is the holding place. But here's my thing: people argue over whether heaven's going to be in heaven or is that metaphorical, where this New Jerusalem's coming down to the earth. My thing is like this: as long as I'm not on the other side, he can have me up in the heavens, have me down on earth. I don't care where I am, as long as I'm with him.
I think the new heaven, if I can say it this way, is a greater reality of heaven on earth.
Yeah.
That does not eliminate heaven.
Yep.
Above.
Yep.
And because those 2 heavens, or the one heaven, the expanded heaven, let's put it that way, exists, our soul has to go and be with God, absent from the body, present with the Lord. Then the reconnect comes in the resurrection of the saints.
Yep.
So that puts it back together again, the soul with the body. And it's not, like you said, it's not ironic, because the body was created first and the soul was breathed into it. All right. Then the soul is taken first and the body must catch up with the soul.
Yes, sir. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah. And God created the earth from mankind. And if he's going to restore it back to the beginning, then it makes sense. Let me see.
And Lois, it is before you pay a bill, but if you give him the gross, that is before paying a bill. What we got?
Okay, so when God reveals to you death and life through the eyes of a person,
hey, Brenda,
person is dying, what does it mean to you, Bishop? Have you looked death in the eye?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I've also had the privilege of praying people back from the edge of death, asking God to revive their soul. So yes, as a pastor, not only have I had the privilege of praying people back who were said to be dead, but also I have had to make a decision for parents and for my own people when God was clearly calling them to let them go. So it's not a favorite place to be, but it's a necessary place to be.
Well, that's tough, man.
Yeah.
That is tough.
Yeah.
I remember being in the hospital with somebody that I knew God was going to take the person, if I can say it like that.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Yeah.
And
once you did a while, you can tell.
Yeah. And they were like, well, can you pray for God to do a miracle?
And I'd always do.
Yeah. And, I kind of prayed for that in God's will. I pray for their strength and pray for the miracle, but at the same time, like really pray for their strength through the process. It was It's a pretty interesting situation.
Yeah, I think we always
Difficult.
even when I'm pretty sure that God has already decided.
Mm,
There is always that 10%, 5%, 1%
sure. Mm,
that God may honor it
right.
and turn that thing around. And we've seen both. Even
Okay.
I've walked out of the hospital and prayed, and
Yeah.
I believe they were coming up, but they looked like God was taking them.
Yeah.
And by the time I get in my car and halfway down the road, they're calling me saying he sat up in the bed. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's an amazing thing, and we've seen some great miracles in our church.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal miracles in our church.
Absolutely. You see, Sid, how do we get peace with God, with the way God decides to take someone? When someone is very ill, seems right. Those sudden departures I struggle with sometimes.
Well, I think that grief, once again, Sid, is designed to get us from grace to acceptance, not grace to grief, from shock to acceptance, not shock to agreement.
Mm.
There's an entirely different ballpark between acceptance and agreement. Like when David prayed, you remember the story, Sid? They came and told him the baby had died. He immediately jumped up and began to do the things he always did because he said God's will was done.
Mm.
But it didn't stop him from praying all that time, fasting all that time, because he said, perhaps God will hear me.
Mm.
And only a person who God has listened to before, responded to before, has that kind of faith.
Yeah. 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 That makes sense.
Yeah.
Robin, you're going to have to rephrase your question. Not sure I understand what you mean.
No, they're not dreaming while they dead, Robin.
Okay.
No, God said,
okay.
From God's view, they're sleeping. From our view, they're dead.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering. Okay.
Else God would say waking them up, not resurrecting them.
Yeah. Okay. I was sure. I mean, well, it's something, Ava. Sorry, I won't hit the wrong. It quit fast. Both miracle for who, what kind of selfish when it comes to loved one. I don't want to keep someone I love from the Lord for himself.
Well,
I mean, yeah, both sides.
Well, I think that's the other side of it that we have to be. My mom's been gone 12 years, but I would rather have her here healthy, whole, and happy with me. I'd rather have her here with me.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying I want to deny her heaven, but the son side of me wants his mom here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kevin said, I know this is 10 times better, but
yeah, well, that's the whole point, to make you a better Christian.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Better Christian, make you a better man, better woman.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, that's our philosophy has not been to teach your title. Mm. Our philosophy has been to teach to strengthen your discipleship so you're better in whatever role you find yourself, whether that's son, father, husband, boyfriend, employee, employer. So we believe strength of the discipleship causes us to be successful in all the assignments in our lives.
Yeah. Righty. Have you ever felt the devil sitting on your chest?
No.
What if somebody comes to you about that? I've heard people say that they felt like a presence on them while they were sleeping.
Yeah.
Like a heaviness on them. How do you?
Sometimes that's a dream.
Okay.
And I'm not being facetious. Sometimes it's a dream, and sometimes we're wrapped up in the covers.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not funny. It's real.
I know. I'm sorry.
Sometimes we're wrapped up in the covers. Sometimes we're laying on a pillow.
Yeah.
And sometimes the dream is so vivid that your physical body starts to react according to the dream. So if someone is attacking you, you feel like you're fighting. If someone is trying to crush you, you feel like they're laying on your chest. So, there are several things. Sometimes it's something physical that's going on, something natural. And sometimes the dream is so vivid that your body's reacting as though you're actually in the dream, physically in the dream.
That makes sense. Because a lot of people put that on the devil. Let's say something spiritual was attacking them.
Yeah.
It's a good question. I tithe, but not consistently. Mm-hmm. I make it to the end of the month. Rent's due. I have to make a decision, pay my rent or tithe.
Now, I'm not telling you to have my kind of faith. I'm not telling you to have my kind of faith. Let me put the disclaimer out. Mm-hmm. But I'm always aware of the fact that everything I have comes from God. So I cannot not give him what he says is his, because I want him to trigger that open window, that blessing. And at those times it takes faith to trust him. But I believe I position myself for him to respond. I'm believing that he is, and that he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
Yeah.
So I make that what would seem like a radical decision, but to now it's the right decision, because I've seen him come through when there was a temptation to God will understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, what blows my mind, Pastor Nick, and what strains my faith is the timing of God's response.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that blows my mind.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy about us, right? We'll start trying to think about ways to cut back on our tithe, but not on other bills that are unnecessary. We gotta get off.
We gotta get off.
Yes, where's Tierra?
Yeah, get back on, Tierra, when we come back, and I'll answer that one for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 5:56. We got to start the tape soon. That's why we got to get off. Yeah. Come back on after and bring your questions on after. We'll be back in like
about 10 times better.
It's about 6:16, so we'll be back at 6:16. All right, y'all.
Bye-bye.